In this lecture, you are going to learn about the Pequot War and King Philip's War.
As mentioned earlier, the relationship between the northern colonies and the Native Americans in the region has often been portrayed as a mutual and lovely friendship, but that is far away from the truth. In reality, by the time the first settlers arrived in Plymouth, the Native American tribes of the region were still recuperating from the devastating consequences of a vicious epidemic that disseminated most of their population. During the first 3/4 of the 17th century, New England's indigenous population fell from 1,400,000 to 10,000, while the English population grew to 50,000. Then, two major wars will further disseminate the native population and assert the power of the English in the region. The first will be the Pequot War. In May 1637, an armed contingent of English Puritans from Massachusetts Bay, Plymouth, and Connecticut colonies trickled into Indian country in territory claimed by New England. Referring to themselves as the Sword of the Lord, this military force intended to attack the insolent and barbarous nation called the Pequots. In the resulting violence, Puritans put the mystic community to the torch, beginning with the north and south ends of the town. As Pequot men, women, and children tried to escape the blaze, other soldiers waited with swords and guns. One commander estimated that of the 400 souls in the fort, not about 5 of them escaped out of our hands, although another counted near 600 or 700 dead. In a span of less than 2 months, the English Puritans boasted that the Pequot were drove out of their country and slain by the sword to the number of 1,500. After the Pequot War, New England Puritans launched a campaign to convert the Indians to the Protestant religion. John Eliot, New England's leading missionary, convinced about 2,000 to live in praying towns where they were expected to adopt white customs. New England Indians were also forced to accept the legal authority of colonial courts. Faced with death, disease, and cultural disintegration, many of New England's native peoples decided to strike back. In 1675, the chief of the Poconoguts, Metacomet, whom the English called King Philip, forged a military alliance including about 2/3 of the region's Indians. King Philip's War will begin in the winter of 1675. The body of John Sassamon, a Christian Harvard-educated Wampanoag, was found under the ice of a nearby pond. A fellow Christian Indian informed English authorities that 3 warriors under King Philip's command had killed Sassamon, who had previously accused King Philip of planning an offensive against the English. The 3 alleged killers appeared before the Plymouth court in June 1675. They were found guilty of murder and executed Several weeks later, a group of Wanapons killed 9 English colonists in the town of Swansea. Shortly after, King Philip led an attack on Swansea, Massachusetts. Over the next year, both sides raided villages and killed hundreds of victims. 12 New England towns were destroyed. King Philip's War was the most destructive conflict relative to size of the population in American history. 5% of New England's population was killed, a higher proportion than Germany, Britain, or the United States lost during World War II. Indian casualties were far higher, perhaps 40% of New England's Indian population was killed or fled the region. When the war was over, the power of New England's Indians was broken. The region's remaining Indians would live in small, scattered communities, serving as the colonists' servants, slaves, and tenants. King Philip's War ended in 1676, roughly 55 years after the first pilgrims arrived in Plymouth in 1620.